Good morning. I'm your host, Dr. Brenda Wade. You've seen him on the Hollywood blockbusters, or in the Hollywood blockbusters, Men of Honor, How Stella Got Her Groove Back, and Everybody's All American. And on TV, you've seen him in Mantis, Cagney, and Lacey, just to name a few. He also played CIA agent Marcus Dixon, the mild-mannered field partner to Agent Sidney Bristow on Alias. And now, through January 11th, you can see him in person on stage in San Francisco's very own production of Storefront Church. Please welcome back Carl Lumley. Hi, Carl.
Brenda.
Good to have you back.
That's good to be back.
Thank you. Storefront Church. Now, that's an interesting concept because so many churches in the Black community started as storefronts. What is this Storefront Church all about?
Well, this Storefront Church is about a preacher from Louisiana, New Orleans.
Ah, my hometown.
Who lost everything in Katrina and is relocated to the Bronx.
Oh, wow. What a change.
And then this story meets the story that takes place in so many communities in our nation where areas are trying to come back, and the community is trying to maintain a sense of itself while at the same time trying to encourage business and jobs. So there is a project, a major building project, which could either be a mall or it could be a community center.
Okay.
And so the banks are involved, and business is involved, and government is
Banks,
involved.
business, and a preacher.
Right, and they all come together at one point.
Now, you're playing the preacher
Church,
in
yes.
this story. What's the character's name?
His name is Chester Kimmich.
Chester Kimmich. So Pastor Kimmich has to negotiate all of this. Now, who is he? How does he find himself struggling with all these forces after Katrina?
Well, I think find himself is the operative word. He is trying to find himself. He has been called to open this Storefront Church. It has not yet opened. He is at a crisis of faith. Or maybe, a crisis of confidence.
Okay.
He still has faith. He doesn't know how, but he still believes. But he lost everything, and he's trying to find himself again.
Well, I can relate to that. Within my own family, we had 25 family members lose everything. Several people died as a result, Katrina-related deaths. And there was always this sense of grief, this sense of not quite being able to put roots down. Is that part of what Pastor is struggling with?
It's part of what he's going through, and also in Katrina, he could point to Katrina. He could say, that's the storm that changed everything. But now in the place where he is, he has this building, the Storefront Church. He is a preacher.
Yes.
He still has his calling, but he doesn't have his direction.
Right.
So he's waiting. He's waiting for God to let him know it's okay to move forward, and that direction hasn't come yet. So he has his direction, or he's looking for direction. He's lost that, but he still has faith that it will come.
Now, for you, playing this role, everyone goes through storms, and it sounds as if the story is really a metaphor for the storms we all pass through in life.
Yes, I think
and
so.
what is it you want to bring to this character that you want us all to take away, maybe, from the play? Because you are all going to go see that play, right?
I think one of the points the play makes so beautifully is that sometimes you sit in grace and you wait. We put a lot of emphasis on the idea of being people of action.
Oh, yes.
If something's not right, well, you do something and you make it right.
Right.
And I think this is one of those points in life where the play is perhaps advocating the idea of don't just do something, sit there.
Oh, I love that.
Don't
Yes.
take mindless action. Be mindfully patient.
Yes.
And sit within yourself and seek, be open to guidance.
And that is so hard for us because there's anxiety with just sitting and waiting. It's a very anxious place to be, and sometimes it relieves the anxiety to just do something, even if it's the wrong something. So this is an interesting character and different, I think, from other characters you've played.
Yes, I think
How's
so.
that for you as an actor, to shift into a character who's waiting? Because you've played a lot of characters of action.
Yes, I think it presents a number of challenges that are good for me. I like action, and what nature abhors a vacuum.
Exactly. First law of physics.
So I think that's always been a kind of a driving force. But of late, I myself have had some moments where I haven't been exactly certain where to go, and you know, it's I've learned something about patience. You know, a man who takes on the task
and
of
speaking
preaching.
of action, sorry, we've got some pictures up here. What do we got here?
Oh, that's actually from an earlier play that I did at the beginning of the year, called the with the hat.
Oh, the
Yes,
okay.
and that was a man of action.
Okay.
He was sometimes improper action. However, here, that's Chester Kimmich. And you know, as a preacher, having the responsibility to try and interpret the word for a congregation, not yet certain of where the congregation is or what he would say to them.
Yeah, and you know, it's so hard. I've talked to so many preachers who say, I have my own struggles. Who do I go to? I'm here to help all these other people. What about me? Who do I talk to? And I actually had a preacher say to me, it's lonely to talk to God. It's lonely to talk to God because I'm not sure God is talking back.
Which is why I think he put all these other people around us. And I think very often we find, maybe as a preacher, but definitely as a person, that it's in listening that we get in more and more information about what we should be doing, sometimes what we need to say.
Yes.
And so he's put himself in a place where by standing still, he will be listening, watching and learning.
Beautiful. Well, we look forward to seeing you in this role, Carl Lumley. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, Brenda.
Now, listen, everybody, you've got to go and see this. Carl Lumley is starring in Storefront Church through January 11th. For tickets and information, visit their website at www.playhouse.org or call 677-9596. Blessings. We'll be right back. Stay right there.